Sir, very happy afternoon to all.
Happy afternoon, sir.
My dear lovable students, we have done income from salary, income from house property, PGBP. We are in the balance two heads of income. One is IFOS and capital gain. Shall we complete that?
Yes, sir.
Rahul, a resident Indian, holding 28% of equity shares. 28% means, sir, is having substantial interest in the company. Took a loan of 5 lakh from the same company, correct?
Yes, sir.
On the date of granting the loan, the company had accumulated profit of
4 lakhs.
அப்ப 4 லட்சம் ரூபாய் தான் accumulated profit இருந்திருக்கு. To the extent of accumulated profit only will be treated as the company is engaged in some manufacturing activity. அவங்களுக்கு லோன் கொடுக்கிறது கிடையாது, அவங்களோட வேலை manufacturing activityல engage ஆயிருக்காங்க, கரெக்ட்டா? Is the amount of loan taxable as என்ன dividend? If the company is a company in which public are என்ன interested? Public are substantially interested. Public are substantially interested means public limited company or private limited company? This provision is applicable to any limited company? Not applicable to. What would be your answer if the lending company is a limited company? That is, which is not a company in which public are. That is any payment by a company other than the company in which public are of any sum by way of advance on loan to an entity shareholder being a person who is the owner of the shares holding not less than 10% of the. If you are holding more than 10% of the voting power, you are having is deemed as dividend under section 222E to the extent the company possess. The provisions of 222E, however, will not apply where the loan is given by a company in which public are. But this provision is applicable only to the, not applicable to the. In such a case, the loan would not be taxable as any dividend. அப்ப இந்த கம்பெனி சார் யாருக்கு அப்ளை, இந்த ப்ரொவிஷன் யாருக்கு அப்ளை ஆகாதுன்னா பப்ளிக் லிமிடெட் கம்பெனிக்கு அப்ளை ஆகாது. யாருக்கு தான் அப்ளை ஆகும்? அப்போ ஒரு பிரைவேட் லிமிடெட் கம்பெனில ஒரு ஷேர் ஹோல்டருக்கு சப்ஸ்டான்ஷியல் இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் இருக்கு, அந்த ஷேர் ஹோல்டருக்கு கம்பெனி லோன் கொடுத்திருக்காங்கன்னா to the extent of என்ன profit will be treated as deemed dividend under 222E in the hands of the shareholder, correct? Yes, sir. However, if the loan is taken from a என்ன company, that is a company in which public are not, which is not a company where lending of money is a substantial part of, the provisions of 222E would be attracted. அப்ப அந்த கம்பெனி பப்ளிக் லிமிடெட் கம்பெனியா இருக்க கூடாது, அந்த கம்பெனி பிரைவேட் லிமிடெட் கம்பெனியா இருக்கணும். அவங்க சார் ஷேர் ஹோல்டர் who is having substantial interestக்கு என்ன தரணும்? லோன் தரணும். அப்படினா to the extent of என்ன profit? Accumulated profit. யார் கையில deemed dividend ட்ரீட் ஆகும்? ஷேர் ஹோல்டர் கையில, கரெக்ட்டா? In this case, since the company is என்ன company and not என்ன company, and Rahul holds more than of the equity shares in the company, provisions of 222E would be, so the amount chargeable as deemed dividend cannot, however, exceed the accumulated profit held by the on the date of giving the loan. Therefore, the amount taxable as any dividend would be limited to accumulated profit of 4 lakh and not the amount of loan, which is at a lakh. That means provisions of 222E will be applicable only in the hands of the private limited company who gave loan to the shareholder who are having substantial interest to the extent of. That's it. Illustration number 1 comes to an clear. I'm moving into 56 subsection to class 7B. One example is that which we have already covered in the class. A private limited, number of shares 10,000 face value 100 fair market value 120 yes sir, issue price 130 provisions of 56 subsection 2 class NAB are attracted in this case since the shares are issued at a, that is the issue price exceed the face value of the share. நீ shares பிரீமியத்துல என்ன பண்ணாதான் issue பண்ணாதான் 56 subsection 2 class 7B என்ன ஆகும்? The excess of issue price of the share over the என்ன market value would be taxable under section 56 subsection 2 class NAB. That means எவ்வளவு rupees are fair market issue price 130. What is the fair market value? What is the gap? Into how much number of share? That means how much? 1 lakh should be taxed as gift in the hands of the company, correct?
Yes, sir.
Next one example, sir. B private limited எவ்வளவு shares வச்சிருக்காங்க? What is the face value? But what is the issue price? Is it a premium? Is it a premium? Yes, sir. Is the issue price more than the fair market value? No, sir. That means the section will be applicable, but nothing will be taxable. Correct? Provisions of 56 subsection 2 class 7b are attracted since the shares are issued at a however, no sum shall be chargeable tax in the hands of any private limited under a said section as the shares are issued at a price less than the. I'm moving into example number 3. C private limited எவ்வளோ shares வச்சிருக்காங்க? What is the face value? What is the issue price? Is the shares issued at premium? Then section itself not applicable. Since 56 subsection 2 class 7b is not attracted since the shares are issued at a though the issue price is greater than that. D private limited. How much number of shares? 40,000. What is the face value? Have they issued at premium? Is it more than fair market value? Yes, sir. So 110 minus 90 comes to 20 into how much share? Is equal to 1 lakh. Provisions of 56 subsection 2 class 7b are attracted in this case. Since the shares are issued at a excess of issue price of the share over the market value would be taxable under section 56 subsection 2 class. Therefore 8 lakh shall be treated as income in the hands of D private limited. Clarity? Yes, sir. With this example of 56 subsection 2 class 7b also comes to an end. I'm moving into the next illustration. Illustration number 1 or 2 or 3 or. This is a good illustration. It may be tested in examination because very good illustration. Try to understand the illustration in the sense it has to be understood. Mr. A dealer in shares. அப்ப எதை விக்கிறாங்க? Receive the following without consideration during the previous year. That means Mr. B கிட்ட இருந்து இந்த ஐட்டம்ஸ் எல்லாம் gift-ஆ வந்திருக்கு. ஓகேவா? Cash gift of 75,000. Is it exceed 50,000? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. On his anniversary, so taxable. Correct? Yes, bullion, என்ன market value? Of rupees 60,000 on his death day, 19 June 2023. Is it exceed 50,000? Yes, sir. So taxable. Correct? Yes, sir. A plot of land at Faridabad on 1st July, the stamp duty value of which is 1 lakh. Yes. On that date, Mr. B purchased the land in April 2009. Is the immovable property stamp duty value per unit exceeds 50,000? Yes, sir. This 5 lakh is also taxable. So everything is taxable. Correct? Yes, Mr. A purchased from his friend Mr. C. இப்போ இந்த ஆள் Mr. C கிட்ட இருந்து purchase பண்ணிருக்காங்க. Who is also என்ன in share? 1000 shares of what? X Limited at எவ்வளோ each? On 19th June 2023, the fair market value of which was அப்ப 600 rupees ஓட share 400 rupees purchase பண்ணிருக்காங்க. 200 rupees கம்மியா purchase பண்ணிருக்காங்க. 200 into 1000 comes to 2 lakhs. Correct? So the difference between the fair market value and the consideration paid exceed rupees 50,000. Correct? Yes, question buddy. Mr. A purchased from his friend Mr. C, who is also an in share. That means shares is equal to stock in trade. Correct? Yes, sir. Shares என்ன in trade ஆனா? IFOS attract ஆக வேண்டிய PGBP தான் attract ஆகும். That means இந்த 2 lakh IFOS ல tax பண்ண வேண்டிய. This is a twist in the question. Hello sir. Mr. A sold these shares in the course of business. அதான் அவங்க ஹைலைட் பண்ணிட்டே இருக்காங்க. இது business income. இத தயவு செஞ்சு எந்த ஹெட்ல என்ன பண்ணிராதீங்க? tax பண்ணிராதீங்க. ரைட்டா? Further on, எப்போ 1st November 2023, Mr. A took possession of property. என்ன building? Office building. Booked by him எத்தனை years back? Of rupees எத்தனை lakh? The stamp duty value of the property as on 1st November was எத்தனை lakh? And the date of booking was எத்தனை lakh? அப்போ what is the stamp duty value? 32 lakhs. இது வந்து எப்போ தெரியுமா? 1st November 2023 possession எடுக்கும்போது. That is transfer பண்ணும்போது இன்னைக்கு இருக்கிற stamp duty value. கரெக்ட்டா? But what is the stamp duty value on the date of booking? 20. So 2 stamp duty value has been given. அப்போ stamp duty value as on date of transfer is equal to 32 lakhs. Stamp duty value as on date of booking is equal to everyone love to take the stamp duty value on date of booking. It depends upon how you have made the. He had paid 1 lakh by என்ன paycheck? As down payment on the date of booking. Is it by account paycheck? Yes, sir. So you can enjoy stamp duty value as on date of agreement, which is எத்தனை lakh? 20 lakhs தான் நீ consideration paid. 23 lakhsக்கு தான் consideration paid. 20 lakhs கொடுத்துருக்க. Yes sir. அப்போ hello sir. Sir 20 lakhs ஒத்துக்கிற நீ. அப்போ 23 lakhs minus 20 lakh. 3 lakhs is the Difference. Is the difference exceed 50,000? Yes, sir. If the difference between the stamp duty value and the consideration paid exceeds the higher of 50,000 or 10% of the consideration. What is the consideration? 2 lakh. 2 lakh perisa illa sir 50,000 perisa. 2 lakhs. Is the gap of 3 lakh exceeding 2 lakh? Then this 3 lakh will be taxable as gift. On 1st March, he sold the property of land at Faridabad for 8 lakh. Faridabad inga par idu gift ah vanducha. Ada 7 lakhs வித்துட்டாங்களா? வரும்போது 5 lakhs IFRS tax பண்ணிப்பியா? அத cost of acquisition எடுத்துக்கலாமா? அப்ப 5 lakhs minus 7 lakh 2 lakh is short term capital gain. Compute the income for Mr. A chargeable under the head income from other sources and capital gain for assessment year 24. Computation of income from other source of Mr. A for assessment year 24-25. Cash gift is taxable under what section? Since it exceed how much? Total. Since bullion is included in the definition of the property, therefore where bullion is received equity, the same is taxable since aggregate fair market value exceed. Stamp duty value of the plot of land at Faridabad received without consideration is taxable under 56 subsection 2 class 10. Difference of 2 lakh in value of shares of NL Limited purchased from Mr. C, a dealer in shares, is not taxable as it represents the NA in trade of Mr. A. Since Mr. A is a dealer in shares and it has been mentioned that the shares were subsequently sold in the course of such share represent the stock in trade of Mr. A. Difference between the stamp duty value at 1 lakh, 23 lakh on the date of booking and actual consideration paid is taxable under section 56 subsection 2 class 10. Since the difference exceeds 1 lakh as a higher of sir 50,000 or 10% of consideration. So 3 lakh should be. So IFRS is 9 lakh 35,000. Comfortable?
Yes, sir.
Now I have to calculate the capital gain, which is short term capital gain. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Sale consideration at 1 lakh. Less cost of acquisition, which is deemed to be the duty value. Under section 56 subsection 2 class 10 as per section 49 subsection 4. Whatever amount I have suffered under NOIS can be taken as the cost of acquisition. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. 5 lakhs. So the short term capital gain is actually friend கிட்ட இருந்து ஒரு அசெட் வந்திருக்கு இல்லையா? அதுக்கு வந்து இவர் நயா பைசா காசு கொடுக்கல இல்ல? அப்ப ஜீரோ தான காஸ்ட். அது எவ்வளவு லாக்ஸ் வித்துருக்காரு? 7 lakhs. அப்போ இவரை பொறுத்தவரைக்கும் எவ்வளவு ப்ராஃபிட்? 7 lakhs. அத ரெண்டு ஹெட்ல டாக்ஸ் பண்ணிக்கோ. 5 lakhs IFRS ல டாக்ஸ் பண்ணிக்கோ. 2 lakhs capital gain ல டாக்ஸ் பண்ணிக்கோ. That's it. Are you really with me? Yes, sir. முதல்ல NOIS ல டாக்ஸ் பண்ணிடு. Because receive பண்ணும்போது IFRS ல டாக்ஸ் பண்ணிட்டு சேல் பண்ணும்போது அதே காஸ்ட் ஆஃப் அக்யூஷனை எடுத்து எக்ஸஸ் கேபிட்டல் கெயினை டாக்ஸ் பண்ணிக்கோ. The resultant capital gain will be என்ன? Since for calculating the end of holding, period of holding of the previous owner is not to be considered because check will not be applicable. அப்படி previous owner ஓட இது என்ன பண்ணனும்னா கன்சிடர் பண்ணனும்னா 47 ல விழுந்திருக்கணும். Transaction not regarded as அப்படி 47 ல விழுந்திருந்தா IFRS ல விழுந்திருக்காது. எங்க IFRS ல விழுந்தனால செயின் பிரேக் ஆயிடுச்சு. அப்ப பீரியட் ஆஃப் ஹோல்டிங் மஞ்சுளா ஜெயிச்சா அப்ளை ஆகாது. previous owner வந்து எடுக்க முடியாது. current owner தான் எடுக்க முடியும். With that illustration number 2 comes to an end. I am coming to illustration number 3. Discuss the taxability of otherwise in the hands of the recipient under 56 subsection 2 class 10 of the Income Tax Act. Akhil HUF received how much rupees in cash? From niece of Akhil, daughter of Akhil or a sister. Akhil is the karta of the HUF. Is niece of Akhil a member of Akhil HUF? No, because அவங்க வேற HUF ல மெம்பரா இருக்காங்க. கரெக்ட்டா? அப்படினா the 75,000 will be taxable in the hands of Akhil. Nitisha, a member of her என்ன? Father's HUF. Transferred என்ன property? To the HUF without consideration. அவங்க father-ஓட HUF ல member. அப்படினா member-உம் HUF-உம் are relatives. Correct-ஆ? Stamp duty value of the house property is 9 lakh. Nothing will be. Mr. Akshat received எத்தனை share? Of A Limited from his friend as gift on occasion of his 25th anniversary. The fair market value of the date is எத்தனை per share? அப்ப gift-ஆ வந்திருக்கு அப்படினா 100 into 100 comes to how much? 10,000. இப்ப 10,000 rupees ஓட item free-ஆ வந்திருக்கா? He also received jewelry worth rupees how much? From his nephew on the end day. அப்ப plus 45,000 போட்டா 55,000 வருதா? Is the aggregate amount exceed 50,000? 55,000 is. Kishan HUF gifted a car. Car is not a capital asset. To son of Karta for achieving என்ன mark? In +2 board examination, fair market value of the car is 5,25,000. Nothing will be. So first one, sir, Akil HUF க்கு 75,000 rupees, needs of Akil வந்திருக்கா? Taxable 75,000, sum of money exceeding how much? Received without consideration from a non-relative is taxable under section 56 subsection 2. Daughter of Mr. Akil's sister is not a relative of Akil HUF since is not a member of, right? Rendav, Nitisha, not taxable because both are relative. Not taxable, immovable property received equity by an HUF from his what? Is not taxable under 56 subsection 2. Since Nitisha is a member of what? She is a relative of that. Our income from such asset would be included in the hands of Nitisha under 64 subsection 2, but clubbing provisions will be attracted. And the asset என் கையில வந்து சேரும்போது அதுக்கு நான் IFRS கட்ட வேண்டிய, but அந்த assetல இருந்து ஏதாவது income generate ஆறதா, it will be taxable in the hands of the transferor. 64 clubbing, it will be in a clubbed in the hands of 4 people. Sir, son's wife, minor son, HUF, and the HUF in the HUF ஒத்துக்கிறியா? And spouse, we have talked in the clubbing of income, right? Next one, Akshat, the aggregate amount exceed taxable, so 55,000 rupees is taxable. As per the provisions of section 56 subsection 2 N10, in case aggregate fair market value of property other than inner property received without consideration exceeds how much? Whole of aggregate value shall be, in case aggregate fair market value of shares rupees 10,000 and jewelry how much? Exceeds how much? And the entire amount of 55,000 shall be taxable, right? Last one, car என்னவே கிடையாது, capital asset. So it is non-taxable. Car is not included in the definition of the, for the purpose of section 56 subsection 2 class 10. Therefore, the same shall not be. With that illustration number comes to an end. Comfortable. I'm moving into illustration number 4. Mr. Hari, a dealer, property, sold a building in the course of his business. Building with business. Stock entry to his friend Mr. Rajesh, who is a dealer in ANM mobile. So friend Rajesh is a capital asset, correct? 4 rupees at a lakh. On 1/1/2024, when the stamp duty value was at a lakh. Up stamp duty value is equal to 150 lakh and a sale price is equal to, this question we have done in the class. Agreement was over entered into 1/9/2023. Last year agreement enter potachu, இல்லையா? இல்ல அதுக்கு முன்னாடி டேட்லயே போட்டாச்சு, when the stamp duty value was. Sir, everyone love to take stamp duty value of 140 lakh. Mr. Hari had received a down payment of 15 lakh by a check. Crossed check. Finished account paid check. From Rajesh on the date of agreement. That means this 140 lakh put it on. And 150 lakh put it on. Pocket. Discuss the tax implication in the hands of Hari and Rajesh. Assuming that Mr. Hari has purchased the building for 8 lakh. On 12th July 2022. Correct? Sir, இப்போ Hari is a property dealer. PGBP capital gain. Section 43CA. If an assessee is transferring a land building or both for a value less than the stamp duty value, stamp duty value exceeds 110% of the consideration. Stamp duty value should be taken as that. What would be your answer if would your answer be different if Hari was a broker instead of a dealer, property dealer? Shall I come to case number 1? Tax implication if Mr. Hari is a dealer. In the hands of the seller, Mr. Hari, hello sir. If your property dealer which is 43, in the hands of Hari, the provisions of 43CA would be attracted since the building represents a 9 rate and has referred the same for a consideration less than that. And stamp duty value exceeds 110% of that. Under section 43CA, the option to adopt the inner duty value on the date of agreement can be exercised only if the whole or part of the consideration has been received on or before the date of agreement by way of NPA check or bank draft or use of electronic licenses to a bank account or through a credit card, debit card, net banking or IMBS, UPI or RTGS or NEFT or BHIM or Aadhaar Pay, correct? In this case, since a down payment of 15 lakh is received on the date of agreement by NH check and not account pay check, the option cannot be. Therefore, rupees 75 lakh being the difference between stamp duty value on the date of what? Transfer, that is 8 lakh, and purchase price, that is, would be chargeable as in the hands of Mr. Hari. AM business income. Since the stamp duty value exceeds 110% of the consideration, right? Idhe in the hands of buyer Rajesh, our wangana property, our sir property dealer or not a property dealer. Abdina he is a, for him the asset is a capital asset. Capital asset ஆனாதான் IFRS attract ஆகும், கரெக்ட்டா? Capital asset ஆனாதான் IFRS attract ஆகும். Capital asset கிடையாதுன்னா IFRS வராது. IFRS தான் capital asset. ஹலோ சார். சார் இப்போ ரிசீவ் பண்ணது என்ன செட்டே கிடையாதுன்னா? Because IFRS chapter is equal to capital asset, கரெக்ட்டா? எஸ் சார், ரெண்டும் ஒரே சாப்டர் தான். என்ன சார்? ஒண்ணே ஒண்ணு வித்தா கேபிட்டல் கெயின் வாங்கினா ஐஎஃப்ஓஎஸ். ரெண்டுமே என்ன செட் தான்? ரெண்டு சாப்டர் ஒரே ஒரு ஐட்டத்தை பத்தி தான் பேசுறாங்க. கேபிட்டல் அசெட். சார் ஐஎஃப்ஓஎஸ் என்ன சார் கேபிட்டல் அசெட்? பின்ன ஐஎஃப்ஓஎஸ்ங்கற சாப்டர் ஃபுல்லாவே என்ன சார் மட்டும் தான் இருக்கு. அதனால தான கார் gift-ஆ வந்துச்சுனா என்ன தேவையில்லை? gift தேவையில்லை. பிகாஸ் அது என்ன சார் கிடையாது. அவ்வளவுதான் சார். ஒரு ரெண்டு சாப்டர் ஒரு ஐட்டத்தை பத்தி தான் பேசுறாங்க. கேபிட்டல் அசெட் வித்தா கேபிட்டல் கெயின், கேபிட்டல் அசெட் வாங்கினா அவ்வளவு விட்டுரு. Since Mr. Rajesh is a dealer in NM spare part, the building purchase would be an asset. So this is very important to attract IFIS. This provision of section 56 subsection 2 class 10 would be attracted in the hands of Mr. Rajesh, who has received NM property, being a capital asset for NM consideration, and the difference between the consideration and the NM duty value exceeds how much lakh, being the higher of 50,000 and 10% of the, therefore at a lakh, being the difference between stamp duty value and the property on the date of registration. Yes sir, agreement ridiculous because condition has not been satisfied. So 150 lakh and the actual consideration at a lakh would be taxable under section 56 subsection 2 class 10 in the hands of Mr. Since the payment on the date of agreement is made by NA pay check and not on account pay check or account pay bank draft or electronic lien system or through credit card, debit card, net banking, IMBS, correct? All those things, whatever you know, you write. Are you ready with me? Now, tax implication in the hands of Mr. Hari is a NA broker. If he is a share broker, 43 CA will not be applicable. 50 C will be applicable. Instead of business income, say it as capital gain. Correct? In case Mr. Hari is a broker and not a dealer, building would represent his N asset and not N in trade. In such a case, provision of section 50C would be in the hands of Yar Kailer. Since building is transferred for a consideration less than that and stamp duty value exceeds 110% of that, the 75 lakhs being the difference between the N duty value on the date of registration 150 lakhs and the purchase price at a lakh would be chargeable as short term. It may be noted that under section NSE, option to adopt the stamp duty value on date of agreement can be exercised only if whole or part of the consideration has been received on or before the date of by way of NA pay check or draft or used by ECS through a bank account or through blah 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 blah. Are you really with me? Yes sir. In this case, since a down payment of 15 lakh has been received on the date of agreement by NA check and not by NA check, option cannot be exercised. Abdina, what is the stamp duty value as on date of transfer? 150 lakhs. What is the cost of acquisition? 75 lakhs. Because I will call it as cost of acquisition. Ena business income kadayadi. What's the gap? 75 lakhs. This 8 lakh will be treated as short term capital gain because it is a short term capital asset. Ipada vaangi irukkaru. Vaangi 24 months kulla vithuttaru. In the hands of buyer, Mr. N. Rajesh, there will be no difference in the taxability in the hands of Yar Kailer. Whether Mr. Hari is a property dealer or அவருக்கு மேபி either PGBP attract ஆகுமா இருக்கும் இல்லனா capital gain attract ஆகுமா இருக்கும். ரைட்டா? எஸ் சார். சார் வாங்குற ராஜேஷ்க்கு எப்பவுமே என்ன வயசு தான்? IFOS தான். விக்கிறவனுக்கு என்ன அட்ராக்ட் ஆகுது நான் பார்க்க வேண்டிய. அப்போ ஒரே விஷயம் தான். லேண்ட் பில்டிங் ஆர் போத், அது ஸ்டாக் இன் ட்ரேடா இருந்தா PGBP, லேண்ட் பில்டிங் ஆர் போத் கேபிட்டல் அசெட்டா இருந்தா capital gain, land building or both என்ன கரும கன்றாவியா இருந்தாலும் என்ன வயசு. Therefore the provisions of 56 subsection 2 NA10 would be attracted in the hands of Mr. Rajesh, who has received NA property, being a capital asset for inadequate consideration, and the difference between the stamp duty value and the consideration paid exceed rupees 9 lakh, which is 50,000 and 8% of consideration. Therefore 60 lakh being the difference between the stamp duty value allows are on the date of registration and actual consideration paid would be treated as IFOS. Correct? இவருக்கு உண்மையிலே stamp duty value எவ்வளவு lakh? 150 lakhs. உண்மையிலே இவர் எவ்வளவு பே பண்ணிருக்காரு? 90 lakhs. What is the gap? 60 lakh. Is this 60 lakhs more than 50,000? Yes sir. Or 9 lakh? Whichever is higher. எத்தனை lakh? 9 lakh. 60 lakh 9 lakhs ஓட பெருசா? Yes sir. Yes sir. Automatically that amount will be treated as gift in the hands of the appreciate பண்றீங்க நீ. Very important question for examination. May test in examination. That question you have to be go through because it connects 3 heads of income. Correct? Yes sir. I'm moving into the question number 5 of the IFOS. Shall we? Yes sir. Compensation on account of disaster received from an authority by an individual or his or legal heir is taxable. Examine the correctness of the statement with reference to provisions of Income Tax Act. கஜா புயல் கேள்விப்பட்டிருக்கியா நீ? நிஞ்சாம் புயல் கேள்விப்பட்டிருக்கியா நீ? இப்படியெல்லாம் புயல் வரும்போது சம்டைம்ஸ் சார் லோக்கல் அத்தாரிட்டி ஒரு காம்பன்சேஷன் தருவாங்கல்ல. எதுக்காக காம்பன்சேஷன் தராங்க? நீ பாதிக்கப்பட்டிருக்க அப்படின்னு சொல்லி தான் என்ன தராங்க? காம்பன்சேஷன் தராங்க. கரெக்டா? The Greater Chennai Corporation is giving you compensation of, for example, 1 லட்சம் ரூபாய் காம்பன்சேஷன் வருதுன்னு வச்சுக்குவேன். Hello, sir. உடனே நீ the aggregate of cash received during a previous year exceed rupees 50,000, then the entire amount is taxable. 1 லட்சம் ரூபாய் ஸ்டேட் கவர்மெண்ட் கொடுத்தது. ஹலோ சார், ஸ்டாலின் கவர்மெண்ட் கொடுத்தது. மேலே சார் 30% வாங்கிட்டாங்கன்னா அவங்களே இல்லாதவங்களுக்கு கொடுத்துருக்காங்க, இல்லாதவங்க கிட்ட இருந்து வாங்கியிருக்காங்க. ஹலோ சார், it is not allowed in the act. இன்கம் டாக்ஸில் அது அலோவ் பண்ண வேண்டிய என்ன இல்லை. This statement is not correct as per 11010 BC. சொல்லு 1010 சார், நம்ம 1010 gratuity, 1010 pension, அது மாதிரி ஒரு செக்ஷன் 1010 any amount received or received as compensation by a dash. அதுதான் முக்கியம் சார். இண்டிவிஜுவல் ஆர் பை ஹிஸ் ஆர் ஹர் என்ன லீகல் அண்ட் மேபி நீ வந்து சம்டைம்ஸ் புயல்ல செத்து போயிருப்ப, நீ அப்போ உனக்கு காம்பன்சேஷன் தர முடியாது. அதனால உன்னோட ஆன் அக்கவுண்ட் ஆஃப் எனி டிசாஸ்டர் ஃப்ரம் த என்ன கவர்மெண்ட், டிசாஸ்டர் ஃப்ரம் த சென்ட்ரல் கவர்மெண்ட் இல்லை, காம்பன்சேஷன் ஃப்ரம் த சென்ட்ரல் கவர்மெண்ட். ஒத்துக்கிற நீ? So disaster from the central government, state government or local authorities enna from tax. Exempt from tax. So however the exemption is not available to the extent such individual or enna has already been allowed a deduction under this act on account of such loss or damage caused by such a disaster. In case already and the loss நீ வந்து deduction claim பண்ணிட்டேன்னு வெச்சுக்குவேன். ஹலோ சார், அந்த டிசாஸ்டர்னால அந்த லாஸ் நீ வந்து டிடக்ஷனா கிளைம் பண்ணிட்டீங்கன்னா அதுல வர்ற காம்பன்சேஷன் எக்ஸாம்டட் கிடையாது. ஒத்துக்கிற நீ? அப்போ இப்போ நான் உனக்கு ஏதோ ஒரு புயல் வருது, ஒரு இண்டிவிஜுவலுக்கு இல்ல லீகல் ஹையருக்கு சார் கவர்மெண்ட் கிட்ட இருந்து என்ன வருது? காம்பன்சேஷன். எந்த கவர்மெண்ட்? சென்ட்ரல் கவர்மெண்ட், ஸ்டேட் கவர்மெண்ட், லோக்கல் அத்தாரிட்டி. இட் இஸ் என்ன ஃப்ரம் டாக்ஸ்? exempt from tax because these are இங்க பாருங்க compensation received on account of disaster. 1010 BC 1010 this clause exempt any amount received or receivable as compensation by an individual or is என்ன or any disaster. ஒத்துக்கிறியா நீ? Yes sir. Such compensation should be granted by யாரு or யாரு. However, exemption would not be available in respect of compensation for alleviating any damage or loss which has already been allowed as a deduction under the disaster. Ida catastrophe, mishap, calamity, grave occurrence in any area arising from natural or man-made causes or by accident or negligence. It should have the effect of causing substantial loss of life or யாரா செத்து போறோம் அறியல் ரிலீவ் வித் மீ இல்ல செத்து போற மாதிரி இருக்கணும் நீ. damage to or destruction of the what? ப்ராப்பர்ட்டிக்கு ஒரு டேமேஜ்ல டிஸ்ட்ரக்ஷன் வரணும். டேமேஜ் டு ஆர் டீக்ரடேஷன் ஆஃப் வாட்? என்விரான்மெண்ட்டுக்கு ஏதாவது ஒரு பிரச்சனை வரணும். இல்லாம சும்மா ஒரு காத்தடிக்கிறதுக்குள்ள டிசாஸ்டர் அப்படின்னு சொல்லாது. ஹலோ சார், காத்தடிச்சா ஒரு 4 பேர் சாகணும், இல்லைன்னா வந்து உன்னோட ப்ராப்பர்ட்டிக்கு ஏதாவது என்ன வரணும்? எஃபெக்ட் வரணும். இங்க இருக்கிற தென்னை மரம் அங்கே போய் உட்காரணும். அப்படி ஏதாவது ஒரு என்விரான்மெண்ட்டுக்கு ஏதாவது ஒரு பிரச்சனை வரணும். இட் ஷுட் பி ஆஃப் சச் எ நேச்சர் ஆர் மேக்னிடியூட் ஆஸ் டு பியாண்ட் த கோப்பிங் கெப்பாசிட்டி ஆஃப் கம்யூனிட்டி ஆஃப் த ஏரியா. தாங்க முடியாத அளவுக்கு ஒரு காத்தடிக்கணும். அப்படி இருந்தாதான் அது டிசாஸ்டர்னு என்னால் சொல்ல முடியும். அந்த மாதிரி டிசாஸ்டருக்கு சென்ட்ரல் கவர்மெண்டோ ஸ்டேட் கவர்மெண்டோ லோக்கல் அத்தாரிட்டியோ காம்பன்சேஷன் கொடுத்தா இட் வில் பி எக்ஸாம்டட் ஃப்ரம் டாக்ஸ் as per 1010 BC 1010 okay right, that is fully exempted. With that illu number 5 comes to an end. Comfortable? I'm moving into illu number 6. You already know this, we have already solved. Interest on enhanced compensation received by Mr. G during the year 2023-24 is at a lakh. Out of this interest, 1,50,000 relating to previous year 1920, 1,65,000 relating to previous year 2021, 1,85,000 relating to previous year 21-22. Every interest will be taxable in the year of actual receipt. Yes, sir. Discuss the tax implication if any of such interest income for assessment year. எவ்வளவு வந்திருக்கு? 5 lakhs. எவ்வளவு flat deduction? 2,50,000. How much taxable? The entire interest of 5 lakh would be taxable in the year of receipt, namely previous year 23-24. Interest on enhanced compensation taxable under 56 subsection 2 class 8. Yes, how much? 5 lakh. Less deduction under 57 class 4. Yes, at எத்தனை percent? 8 ஓட 50%. அதனால தான் 57 class 4. பல வாட்டி நான் கிளாஸ்ல சொல்லியிருக்கேன். ஹலோ சார், at the rate of 50% come to 2,50,000. Interest chargeable under the head IFIS is 2,50,000. Oh, you wrote it, yeah. With that illu number 6 also comes to an end. With that all the illustrations of IFIS comes to an end. We are having book back. Are you ready? Yes, sir. I am moving into illustration number 1, illustration number 2, illustration number 3, illustration number 4, illustration number 5. Shall we complete 5? Yes, since it is IFIS, it is very easy. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Right. Examine under which head the following income are taxable. 5 head படிச்சிட்டு நீ head யூஸ் பண்ணி சொல்லு. ஓகேவா? எந்த ஹெட்ல இது என்ன ஆகணும்? டாக்ஸ் ஆகும். Rental income in case property held as stock in trade for 3 years. Rental income in case property held as stock in trade. Stock in trade. Stock in trade. The answer is NHV. Income from house property. Hello sir. Sir, stock in trade nu kuduthirukanga. It is a exception to section 22. Sir, rental income in case of property held as stock in trade for how many years? 3 years. இங்க பாரு ராஜா, இப்போ sometimes நீ ஒரு ஃபிளாட் கட்டுறேன்னு வெச்சுக்குவேன். ஃபிளாட் கட்டிட்டு விற்கலாம்னு ஆசைப்படுற. ஆனா இப்போ மார்க்கெட் சிச்சுவேஷன் சரியா இல்ல. அடுத்த ஒரு 5 வருஷத்துக்கு வாடகை கொடுத்து அதுக்கப்புறம் வித்துப்போம் அப்படின்னு சொன்னா அந்த 5 வருஷம் அது உன்னோட என்ஐன் ட்ரேடா இருந்தா கூட என்ன ஹெட்ல தான் டாக்ஸ் ஆகும்? ஐஎஃப்ஹெச்பியில் தான் டாக்ஸ் ஆகும். சார் புது அறிவா இருக்கு. ஆமா, நிறைய புது அறிவு இருக்குங்கவா. பொது அறிவு இருந்தா நல்லதுங்கவா. salary received by a partner from his partnership firm, PGBP, section 28 clause 5. கத்தி இருக்கேன், கதறி இருக்கேன். salary by a partner from his partnership firm, profits and gains of business or rental income of machinery, IFOS. correctா? Sir, rental income of machinery, PGBP or IFOS. அது உன்னோட தொழிலா இருந்தா PGBP, இல்ல என்னோட எப்பவாவது வர்ற இன்கமா இருந்தா IFOS. Because as per section 22 of the Income Tax Act, in order to tax the income under the head IFHP, there should be a building and land appurtenant there too. Hello. Winning from lottery by a person having the same as business activity, IFOS. நீ லாட்டரியை வச்சு பிசினஸ் பண்ணா கூட என்னதான்? IFOS தான். எஸ் சார். winning from lottery by a person having the same as an activity. புது அறிவா இருக்கே சார். இதே மாதிரி தான் MCQ எல்லாம் இருக்கும் சார். ஃபர்ஸ்ட் வச்சோம் ஜாலியா இருக்கும். இது படிச்சாலும் சரின்னு தோணும், அது படிச்சாலும் சரின்னு தோணும். 4 ஆப்ஷனும் சரிங்கிற மாதிரி இருக்கும். salary received by a member of parliament. அந்த டேபிள் நீ கொடுத்துருவீங்க சார், நான் எனக்கு தெரியும் சார். salary payable to a member of parliament is income from receipts without consideration. இதான் இங்கிலீஷ்ல கிஃப்ட்னு சொல்றது. அப்படியா? அது கொடுக்க வேண்டியதானே சார்? கொடுத்தா நீ ஆன்சர் எழுதிருவீங்க. IFOS, receipts without consideration. In case of retirement, interest on employees' contribution if PF is unrecognized. Unrecognized provident fund வந்து எம்ப்ளாயர் கான்ட்ரிபியூஷன் இருக்கும், எம்ப்ளாயி கான்ட்ரிபியூஷன் இருக்கும், எம்ப்ளாயர் கான்ட்ரிபியூஷன் வரும். அது பில்லோஸ்னு சொல்லி டாக்ஸ் ஆகும். எம்ப்ளாயி கான்ட்ரிபியூஷன் வர இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் IFOSல டாக்ஸ் ஆகும். கரெக்டா? In case of retirement, interest on employees' contribution provident fund is unrecognized. வெச்சு செயல் கான்செப்ட். Yes sir. Rental income in case of person engaged in business of letting out of property, business of letting out of property, PGBP. எனக்கு பிசினஸ்க்கு வாடகை கொடுறது தான் வேலையே. So PGBP, rental income in case of person engaged in business of, as per 56 subsection to class 2, rental income of machinery would be chargeable tax under the head NOS. If the same is not chargeable to income tax under the head PGBP. ஒத்துக்கிறியா? I'm moving into illu number, question number 2, book back. Examine whether the following are chargeable to tax and the amount liable to tax. A sum of how much was received as gift from enna relative by Raju on the occasion of marriage of his son Praveen. யாரு கல்யாணம்? யாரு gift? அவங்க அப்பா gift-ஆ? கரெக்டா? A sum of 1,20,000 is gift from non-relative by Raj on occasion of the marriage of his son Praveen. அப்ப gift யாரு கொடுத்திருக்கணும்? பிரவீன் கொடுத்திருக்கணும். gift யாருக்கு வந்திருக்கு? taxable-ஆ exempted-ஆ? taxable எவ்வளோ? Exemption from applicability of 56 subsection to class 10 would be available in inter alia. Gift is received from யார்கிட்ட இருந்து? or gift is received on the occasion of marriage of the. உனக்கு கல்யாணம் ஆகணும், எல்லா கிஃப்டையும் நீயே வாங்கி வச்சு அவன் எப்படி கல்யாணம் பண்ணிப்பான்? In this case, since the gift is received by யாரு? from a inner relative on the occasion of எப்போ? of his son, it would be taxable in the answer under section 56 subsection 2. இப்போ ஒன்றும் இல்லை, அப்பா கிஃப்ட் வாங்கினது யார் கையில் கொடுக்க சொல்லு? சன் கையில். 30% டாக்ஸ் கட்ட வேண்டிய அதில் ஒரு 50% ஃபீஸாக வாங்கி நீ புடைச்சிரு. இதான் உன்னோட வேலையே. அரியல் ரிலீவ் வித் மீ. எப்படி டிரான்சாக்ஷனை பண்ணணும்னு நம்ம சொல்கிறது தான் உன்னோட வேலை. ஏன்னா 30% டாக்ஸே வச்சா நான் நல்லா இருக்கணும்ல, காசு எனக்கு கொடு. இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் ஆன் என்ஹான்ஸ் காம்பன்சேஷன் எவ்வளோ ருபீஸ்? ரிசீவ் ஆன் 12/3/2000 ஃபார் அக்விசிஷன் ஆஃப் என்ன லேண்ட். ஒன்றும் பிரச்சனை இல்லை, அர்பன் லேண்ட் டாக்ஸபிள் தான். நான் என்ன கத்தி சொன்னால் டாக்ஸபிள் இல்லாமல் ஆயிடுமா? கன்ஃபியூஷனுக்காக வேற எதுவும் இல்லை. ஆஃப் விச் 40% ரிலேட் டு ப்ரீவியஸ் இயர் ஃபுல்லாக டாக்ஸபிள். கரெக்டா? அப்போ 96,000 50% 40 டாக்ஸபிள். செக் பண்ணலாமா? டாக்ஸபிள் இஸ் 40. As per 145B subsection 1, interest received by assessee on என்ன compensation shall be deemed to be the income of the year in which it is what? Irrespective of the method of account followed by the interest of 96,000 on enhanced compensation is chargeable tax in the year of receipt. That is previous year repo. Under section 56 subsection 2 class 8 after providing deduction of under section 57, therefore 48,000 is chargeable tax under the head. ஒத்துக்கிறியா நீ? I am moving into illu number 3. Book back number 3. அப்பா அப்படியே அபராதம். வா. On 10/10/2023, Mr. Govinda, a bank employee, received a lakh towards interest on என்ன compensation from state government in respect of compulsory acquisition of his land affected during the financial year repo. Sir, irrelevant. Yes sir. Total எவ்வளோ லாக் வந்திருக்கு? Less how much lakhs? Taxable எவ்வளோ? But still for time pass we can read this. Out of interest 1,50,000 relating to financial year repo 1670, 1,65,000 relating to financial year repo, 1,85,000 relating to financial year repo. He incurred 50,000 of N expenses to receive the interest on such enhanced compensation. Put it on. How much of interest on enhanced compensation will be chargeable tax in the assessment year 24? Answer படிக்கலாமா? 2,50,000. 145B provides that interest received by assessee on என்ன compensation shall be deemed to be the income of the assessee of the year in which it is received, irrespective of the method of accounting followed by the and irrespective of the financial year to which it is. 56 subsection to class 8 state that such income shall be taxable as income from 50% of such income shall be allowed as deduction by virtue of 57 and no other deduction shall be permissible from her. Therefore, legal expense incurred to receive the interest on enhanced compensation would not be allowed as deduction from her. So, computation of interest on enhanced compensation taxable as IF. Interest on enhanced compensation 56 subsection to class 8, how much? Less deduction under 57 class 4 comes to taxable interest on enhanced compensation 2,50,000. Comfortable?
Yes, sir.
I'm moving into the question number 4. Shall we?
Yes, sir.
The following details have been furnished by Mrs. NSR Emali, permitted to the year ended 31/3/2024. Correct? ஏதோ ஏமாலியோட கணக்கு கொடுத்துருக்காங்க. ஏமாலியோட கணக்கை பாரு. Cash gift of how much? Received from her friend on an occasion of her பூர்த்தி. Taxable. Yes sir. வாயில வரல. A wedding function celebrated on her husband completing. This was also her 25th anniversary. 25th wedding anniversary. Yes sir. So they have received a gift of 51,000. Taxable. Shashishya Purti. They have NSR United. On the above occasion, a diamond. Jewelry. A diamond. Necklace worth rupees 2 lakh was present by sister, relative, not taxable. Correct? Yes sir. When she celebrated her yaroda wedding on 21/2/2024, her friend asked Mrs. Emali favor a fixed deposit held by said friend in a scheduled bank. Value of fixed deposit and accrued interest on said date was how much? Fixed deposit has to be treated as cash. Yes sir. Aggregate amount of cash received during a previous year exceeds 50,000 and their amount is taxable. 52,000 is taxable. Upon 51 plus 52 comes to 1 lakh is taxable. Compute the income if any assessable as income from other source for assessment year. Any sum of money received by an individual on the occasion of marriage of the individual is exempted. This provision is however not applicable in a cash gift received during a wedding and a function celebrated on completion of 60th year of age. Only marriage. அன்னைக்கு உனக்கு என்ன gift வந்தால் நயா பைசா டாக்ஸ் கொடுக்க வேண்டிய. Last day in your life you are going to be happy, enjoy. Hello sir. But marriage anniversary every year will come. But marriage is not like that, sir. 2 or 3 times only will come, correct? The gift of 51,000 received from a non-relative is therefore chargeable tax under 56 subsection of class 10 in the hands of Mrs. Emali, since the same exceeds how much? 50,000. The provision of section 56 subsection 2 or class 10 are not attracted in respect of any sum of money or property received from a yarkitande. Thus the gift of diamond necklace received from her sister being a relative is not taxable under section 56 subsection 2. Even though jewelry falls within the definition of the property. To be exempt from applicability of 56 subsection 2 class 10, the property should be received on the occasion of the marriage of the what? Individual. Not that of individual sons or daughter. Therefore, this exemption provision is not attracted in this. Yes. Any sum of money received without consideration by an individual is chargeable tax under section 56 subsection 2 if the aggregate value exceeds how much? Sum of money has however not been defined under 56 subsection 2 class 10 A. Cost na enna explain pannala. Therefore, there are two possible views in respect of the value fixed in a deposit assigned in favor of Mrs. Emali. Correct? Yes, the first view is that fixed deposit does not fall within the meaning of enough money. ஏன்னா cash immovable property, other immovable property எதுலயுமே fixed deposit இல்ல, அதனால fixed deposit FT வர வேண்டிய என்ன இல்ல. And therefore, provision of 56 subsection of class 10 are not attracted. புரியுறதா? It may be noted that the fixed deposit also not included in the definition of the property. However, another possible view is that fixed deposit assigned in favor of Mrs. Emali falls with the meaning of sum of money received. Correct? Income accessible as income from any sources. If the first view is taken, that means fixed deposit வந்து cash கிடையாது அப்படிங்கிற view எடுத்தேன்னா total income chargeable tax as income from other source would be how much? Being cash gift received from friend on her Shishipurti. Correct? As the second view, the provision of 56 subsection 2 enacted would also be attracted in respect of FD assigned in the name of income from other source of Mrs. Emali would be 1,51,000 plus 50. With that, it's our book back number 4 comes to an end. I'm moving into book back number 5, the last question. With that, we can say that we are through with IFOS, right? Yes, sir. Examine the following transaction in the context of Income Tax Act. Mr. B transferred எத்தனை share of என்ன private limited to யார் private limited on 10/10/2023 for எத்தனை lakh? Where the fair market value is எத்தனை lakh? 5 lakhs minus 3 lakh. Is it exceed 50,000? Yes, sir. The indexed cost of acquisition of share for Mr. B was computed at how much? 4,45,000. That means it's a long-term capital asset. Yes, transfer was not subject to security transaction tax. That means 112A will not be applicable. Yes, determine the income chargeable tax in the hands of Mr. B and Mrs. B company private limited because the above said transaction. Correct? யார் வித்திருக்கா? Mr. B. Mr. B கையில capital gain வருமா? Yes, sir. What is the full value of consideration? 5 lakhs. Because if you are transferring any unquoted shares for a value less than the fair market value, the as per 50 CA, அப்ப 5 lakhs should be the full value of consideration. Yes, less indexed cost of acquisition 4,45,000. 5 lakh minus 4,45,000 55,000 is the long term capital. அங்க அவங்க கையில 2 lakh rupees will be taxable because difference between 5 lakhs and 3 lakhs. Appreciate பண்றியா? Sir, any movable property received for inadequate consideration by a person is chargeable tax under section 56 subsection 2 class 10 if the difference between the aggregate fair market property and the consideration exceed the shares received by Mrs. B company private limited from Mr. B for inadequate consideration is chargeable tax under section 56 subsection 2 class 10 to the extent of 1 lakh. As per 50 CA, since the consideration is less than the net market value of unquoted shares of our private limited, fair market value of shares of the company would be deemed to be the net value of consideration. It is presumed that the shares of our private limited are the full value of consideration 5 lakh plus the index cost of action 4,50,000 would be result in a long term capital gain of in the hands of Mr. Uirode. Mr. Sir Cherian is employed in a company with a taxable salary income of 8 lakh. 5 lakh. Jenny ஓட ஹஸ்பண்ட் பேர் கொடுத்திருக்காங்களா? இங்க வா. சார் எவ்வளவு lakhs? 5 லட்சம் ரூபாய் salary வாங்குறாங்க. என்னச்சு? பாக்கியலட்சுமி. என்னாச்சு? என்ன ப்ராப்ளம்? Reference correct, no? Yes. No. Cherian. Yes, sir. பாகியாவோட முதல் பையன். Yes, sir. ஜெனியோட புருஷன். Yes, sir. இப்பதான் பிரிஞ்சு இப்பதான் ரெண்டு பேரும் ஒண்ணா இருக்காங்க. Yes, sir. இப்பதான் புலம்பி இருக்கான். Yes, sir. இன்னைக்கு அப்டேட் பாரு. என்ன வந்து சார் கூட உட்கார்ந்துட்டு தம்பி தம்பி எழில் கூட உட்கார்ந்து ஆறுதல் சொல்றதா இன்னைக்கு எபிசோட் பாருங்க வா. சார் Mr. Cherian is employed in a company with taxable salary of income of 5 lakhs. Come on, man. உனக்கு தேவையா? காப்பிரைட் நம்ம எதுவும் அதுக்கு இங்க எதுவும் பிளே எல்லாம் பண்ண போறது இல்லை காப்பிரைட்டுக்கு. போய் பார்த்துக்கோ. வா. He received a sum of 1 lakh from Atma Charitable Trust, registered under 12AB by என்ன pay check? Account pay check. Sir, in December 2023, for meeting his any expenses. Any gift received from? Is the sum of money so received from the trust chargeable tax in the hands of Mr. Cherian? No, sir. Hello, sir. Bhagirashmi, nothing will be applicable. The provisions of 56 subsection of class 10 would not apply to any sum of money or any property received from any trust or institution registered under NAV. Therefore, the sum of rupees 1 lakh received from Atma Charitable Trust being a trust registered under section NAV for meeting the medical expense would not be chargeable tax under section 56 subsection of class 10 in the hands of Mr. Cherian. Correct? Yes, with this we can say that we are through with IFOS.